the sky, but the fate is just a glare in the eye of a fallen rattler, and hope is a lost friend. When the sinews of the chest grow tired from those hard charging linebackers, when our legs grow weary because of those hard running back, we must always remember that the Rattlers will strike, and strike again. Let's go.
There we go. Good job as president. Good job as president. First time at a football game, delivered the Rattler charge. I don't know if he was drunk enough, but he was solid. Inside joke. If you're not a FAMU, you won't get it. If you're not a FAMU, you're gonna think I implied that brother drinks, which he was definitely sober. It's just first time jitters, man. I'm proud of him though. Good job as president. Look, did y'all enjoy the game? We got the outcome we needed, but man, was there not a lot of consternation and frustrating involved to getting there? Whew. Good time in Bragg though. Got to have a little fun. Got to watch a little ball. And y'all already know what's up. It's always going to be. Thanks up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does!
And that might be the knockout punch.
What's up, Tabor T? I see y'all, man. Look, Rattles got on my nerves. Like, I was on the field for a minute, went to the press box, sat in the stands, one of my homeboys, frat brothers now. So I was like, bruh, what the heck? But I'm glad we won. I'm just saying though, boy, them narcissists had a brother sweating. What's up, Gail? See you as well, man. You know, look, it was fun times though. The 100 was solid. South Carolina State, y'all could have kept your band. I told y'all I didn't want to see them jokers. I told y'all. Trash. Respectfully. But Monday issue of Fangs up. In today's show, and I've said twice, slap on the wrist. Security issues. Like that game, my man, we almost lost that. That was not it. And for several reasons. So some of it, Bragg's a party. Like, and look, I believe Coach Cozy shows tomorrow. I believe that's what Josh them said in the interview. If you missed the post-game interview, go catch HBCU game days. Sorry. So caught myself on the what? But they did a full recording. Because I was like, hey Vaughn, you recording? Yep. You posted online? Yep. Cool. Ain't no even both us doing it then. What, 2024? We working smarter, not harder, baby. But yeah, Monday issue of Fangs up, partially because of travel. Look, we went out with my family. Shout out to Pops. Went and pick some scuff knives, bullets. Also, just really spend some time with the family. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm a family guy. So I love hanging out with my family, having food, all kind of stuff. That Tallahassee weather, though, it definitely made a brother's allergies flare up. So that's why I was like, yeah, we're going to do this on Monday. So South Florida, Central Florida, North Florida, it's 3 different weather places, completely different. I also got to see my main man, St. Clair Ray. If y'all don't know, he does a show called Round One. Happy to be the co-host on the show. Good to be on there. Talk good things about him. And, you know, some good conversation, good times, man. Also, look, did y'all see? The rings came out. So I'll show you guys a picture of those. Don't forget to support the Rattler Boosters. Join the team behind the team. And look, it's what it looked like at Bragg, man. You know, the Rattlers came out. I mean, and when I say the Rattlers came out, I'm saying, you know, they came out, smoked everything. Coach Colsey, he was there, South Carolina State, had to come out there twice. But good crowd. They say about 15,000, but I heard some of the ticket stuff, you know, ticket stuff wasn't where it needed to be. But look close, about 17. Was an HBC band talk. Saw y'all was giving USF a fight for a few minutes, man. So good effort. Never mad at that. But again, you see the 100, see the stadium. Gerald Thomas Towns, Democrat. You know what you do, my brother. But I got this picture, posted it on the Florida Regional page. So got President Johnson, Dr. Beard, and you know, Mr. Malloy there too, man. So just saying, you know, just saying. Lawson. I don't know why I want to call him Malloy. And then Venom was there. So good times. So y'all, we was there. We was on the field. We was active. And another week where Dangerous was player of the week. So solid game, 3 touchdowns. But getting there was a problem. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. That first half, and Florida State's losing. Look, yeah. At least there's one decent team in Tallahassee because I don't know what to say with Seminoles. They're like hot garbage. But offense was lethargic. You gotta go back and watch that game early on. Just I don't know about you. When I was watching the game, my first take was our players look kind of disinterested. So I need to come to the JSU game. Look, I'm about to triple check on my boy. If he flagging on me for this UF game, I might be at the JSU game. I ain't gonna hold you. I've never been. I know a good brother. People from Jackson State. So you know, definitely wanted to check that out. See what it's like. But keep my eye on the microphone here. So you see me look down. That's what I'm looking down at. Making sure microphone ain't got squirrely on me. So I know what it did the other day. I did pre-check this. I think it's because I was sharing the Wi-Fi. So got off the Wi-Fi. But look, EA, it's a thought. So if things go awry with the UF game, might make my way on up to Jackson. Never been up there. So, you know, see what that flight looking like from Orlando to Jackson. But South Carolina State game, first quarter, 7-6. Like, early on, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. The dancing, especially considering you hadn't done anything worth of merit. I'm with some of y'all old heads. It got a little next to me a little bit. And I get it. Songs, that's your vibe. But at the same point, we need the players to lock in and focus. And early on, it just looked like they weren't interested. Like, I never had a moment where I questioned that FAMU should beat South Carolina State. There was moments that I questioned if FAMU would beat South Carolina State. I'll be transparent about that. Like, hope was a lost friend for a minute. But the Rattler struck and struck and struck again. And the team just wasn't into it. Like, until they finally came back later, it just wasn't working. And so one of the things offensively and even post-game, the players are saying the same thing you and I are saying. So they're not unaware. The team's got to score faster because the tight ends, as Coach Colsey, those are going to be major players on the field. The running game's solid. I think we're all honest with ourselves. Running back 1 is probably 23. Like, Kelvin Dean and Bo, they have their moments, but that dude, Thad Franklin, he's a little different. I think running back 1 settled. Honestly, when you kind of just keep looking at it, And you start seeing, man, the tight ends, they are bailing us out a lot, even when the receivers aren't. Like, what's up, Marvin? Happy holiday. Again, if y'all looking for Coach Cozy, I believe it's tomorrow. So, look, Franklin, another strong performance. I'm telling y'all, that dude looks a whole lot like Terrell Jennings. And I'm going to say this, and I'm going to stand on this. Fan, you got the best quarterback in the city. I'm sorry. Like, DJ, trash. It's just like, he throws better than me. Fan, you got the best quarterback in the city. And that's that. I'm going to stand on that. But yeah, we just couldn't get started early on. Couldn't finish drives. Just the Jared curls just wasn't curling right. And it just, led to that 7-6 really halftime part. But the big thing with the offense, if the offense doesn't get going, it feeds into the problem that we're talking about with the defense, where right now, a lot of people watching the Boston College game are going to say, well, Florida State's defense trash. They are getting run all over. Doesn't really help when the offense isn't doing anything. What's up, Mary 305? So, again, when you kind of watch the FAMU game, I think you go back on, and if you're going to look and check on kind of the defense and see what happened, it's a lot easier to run the ball when you don't have to throw the ball, if that makes sense. Like, you start looking at it and you let South Carolina State hang around and hang around and hang around. If FAMU scores, all of a sudden, South Carolina State has to throw the ball, which literally is a strength of your defense. Like, you didn't have your DBs get burnt as bad this week on deep balls. You had a couple of deep balls that kind of could have went if somebody would have caught the ball for South Carolina State. But at the same point, if you score and your offense stays on schedule, all of a sudden the other team has to throw the ball, which defensively is probably something you're a little stronger at and stronger at stopping. Let's see, EA. I wouldn't say they were into it. They were physically manhandled on defense. We have seen good defense over the past 5 years, but this is one has a lot of deficiencies. Okay. I don't disagree with that. Only the reason I say I kind of bounced back a little bit, because once FAMU got the lead and South Carolina State had to throw the ball at the end of the game, it was completely different. It looked like a dark cloud defense. Like, go back and watch that last drive. Then you get the return of the dark cloud defense. But before that, man, as long as South Carolina State could really run the ball, it was a problem. And that's something where FAMU's got to take away the run defensively, but also offensively, you got to score. You got to catch the ball, and you got to hold on to the ball. I mean, in 2 games, you got 3 fumbles. And it's not like last year where Musa had a lot of turnovers. Richardson, he fumbled once. Gross fumbles once. And then Dean fumbles in the first game. So you're kind of looking around and you're noticing ball security is an issue. And I'll check Gerald, but y'all know I give credit where credit is due. And when I'm saying check, I don't mean like check. I mean like I'm going to see if he said it. But Gerald Thomas from the Dallas Democrat was quoting Willie Simmons in the press box and saying, I ain't heard nobody say this all year. Ball security is job security. And I was like, bro, you got a point. Like, real talk. Nobody said that. And it's apparent. It's an issue. Like, continuously, we fumble the ball more often than we should have. Like, not saying that we're incapable of holding on to the ball, but early on, it's one of the tells of our team that we're having ball security issues, whether it's on snaps being messed up or just flat out fumbling. So That's one of the things that offensively early on I'm looking at. Now, going into this Miami game, and if y'all didn't see, I'm gonna do a little show with a do a show podcast with a Miami stand. Let's see, EA. It's 3rd and 5 on that last drive by them. Bo was playing 10 yards off, and the receiver, he just dropped it. Terrible scheme, pro talents. Yeah, I noticed that Bowler was off the ball a lot more. And I'm wondering some of that was the kind of, they were eating us up on that slant a few times. So I wonder if that's just to help out with that. But you're not wrong. Like, Kendall's got really good talent. Like, overall, your secondary is not bad. Like, your secondary is supposed to be the strength of your defense. And one of the things I'm looking forward to seeing is just how long before Demore Tate kind of kicks in there. I see local talent as resident Kamari Morales. He's in the game for Boston College, Lincoln High School grad. Sorry, but it's just kind of watching this defense early on. You've got to find a way. Like, you got to find a way to get off the field, but offensively, you got to find a way to get started, because if you're not protecting the ball, if you're not scoring, and the defense is just staying out there, it's not going to work, because another team running over 100 yards. South Carolina State was over 150 yards when I last checked. Into the game, let me pull it up, double check. 154 yards. So, and passing, they had 132. So that's telling you, like, they're kind of balanced, but they were averaging 4 yards a carry. That's kind of high. Like, just saying, just saying. Like, 13 was beat and the receiver dropped the ball. Look, yeah, I'm looking to see what the secondary looks like on the other side. One side, you're good. Other side, we've got questions. Florida State's probably gonna lose this game. That's just being transparent. And the crazy part, you kind of look at it, FAMU won the yardage total. Like, you start looking around, rushing yards were a little bit lower, passing yards, you had twice as many yards, almost 300 yards passing. Like, you go over 400 yards total, and you had low penalties. So you really, on paper, you should have beat the mess out of South Carolina State. But you come away with a victory, very close victory. But just saying, so I do believe they will improve as a growth tool. I agree. Like, that's one of the things, I kind of really took away from this game, that this team's probably going to get a lot better. Like, you start to look and realize if this team puts it together, it's going to be a problem. But then also, and it may be crappy to say this, but after watching Alabama State and some of the other teams just kind of still figuring it out, I'm not as concerned about FAMU. Like, there's less of the, oh crap, we're not here yet, and more of kind of like to Marvin's point, we're going to get there. Just got to make sure that we get there at the right time. Because I don't know about you, I watched the Alabama State game. They were getting mollywopped for a minute. Then they made a comeback. They got to figure out who their quarterback is. With FAMU, we know who quarterback one is. And I think that's a benefit to us. Not having to wonder who the quarterback is, that's fine. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all. Going into this Miami game, I'll say it before any Miami show or whatever. Daniel Richardson would be on the bench wearing Sigma clothes, sitting in the stands with his family. There's no way on this green earth he would be playing this game. I'm just saying. No, not when. Nah, just saying. He was tired post game. I'll leave it there. I ain't gonna say too much, but post game, that brother was worn out. He wasn't in the post game press conference. I'll leave it there. So there is no way that he would be playing in this game against Miami, because South Carolina State's had a guy at the game in the press box. He said the same thing I said about FAMU conference-wise, game don't matter. Like, appreciate the check. Appreciate everybody coming. Thanks for bringing your band. But in the grand scheme of things, we're 2-0 in the MEAC, but we're in the SWAC. I mean, that MEAC victory is helpful. Appreciate the check. But at the same point, does it help you get to your end goal of winning the conference? Like, and there we go. 2 more non-conference games to grow. Your goal is still in front of you. There you go. And I like the fact that we played teams that kind of helped us show ourselves a little bit, as far as these are probably the most physical football teams we'll see outside of Miami and Troy. Like, that's just my personal take. I could be wrong, but I think those are the 2 most run-heavy teams you're going to see all season. And so knowing that these are the 2 teams that are probably going to be more physical than anybody else on the schedule, I think going into the rest of the schedule, I don't want to say it's downhill, but you shouldn't struggle quite as much, because you're seeing that more than likely the battles in the trenches aren't going to be the same. You're not going to be really going against heavyweights like you did in this last game. I mean, you're going to go against, teams that are going to compete, but they're not like the MEAC. Like, the MEAC is more physical. That's just me. When you can't stop the run, that is and will be an issue, not scheme. Not sure if it's that important a whole lot. Our DNs are too light to pinch down off tackle. Hey, and that was honestly, again, I encourage, go back and watch that post game. You'll see where Cozy mentioned that. And he stated, we made some personnel changes. I don't know if you watched the Fangs Up podcast, but he definitely saw the same thing I saw with some of that. Like, some of that was with your linebackers. Some of that was also you're playing teams with big offensive tackles, offensive linemen. You're going to need the extra size. So, yeah, against some of these teams, Jackson State in particular, you're going to need that guy that can probably help a little more of the run. When you're talking about Alabama State, it's probably better to be a little lighter, because we've seen where Andrew Body is going to run. You've heard some people, I give Scotty his credit. He pretty much stated, right now Andrew Body's a glorified running back. Sucks for that kid, but at the same point, you kind of seeing that stuff on film is beneficial. And I think the real benefit of the next 2 weeks, depending on what you want to do at Miami, you can either get hurt or get healthy game. Same thing for Troy, but you also get 2 weeks to get film on some of the other teams. I'm not crazy about we didn't have film on South Carolina State argument. You know what they're going to do. Same thing with Norfolk. The personnel said they're going to run the ball. Like, even the stats in the game, they ran for 150 yards. You look soft. Like, I hate to say it, but EA's pointing out, and he's trying to say it in a nice way, but we all will say it. Against the run, we look soft. I mean, that's not bulletin board material. That's what the stats say. And that's not me trying to do a challenge or trying to speak greasy on anybody or speak ill of anyone. I'm saying the statistics say, and the film says, running wise, we look soft. When we do. But at the same point, when you go back and you watch that second half, especially the end of the game, there are times after we get that break, we get that lead, and Coach Cozy is talking about the juice flowing and the players getting a little bit of juice and they get that energy. All of a sudden, you see the energy change within our players, but you also saw where the run game was a little bit tighter. So one of the things that I'm hoping we do this week, hoping we see some players continues to get challenged. Like, we have to challenge them, not challenge. You got to test that pride. As old men like to say, like, where's your pride at? Because to me, run game is about physicality. Who's the most physical team at the line? It's will. And on both sides, at times, run game looks, run blocking and stopping the run. At times, you can ask questions like, That's just me. I'll put that out there. So we're kind of, looking at this game after the fact. You ske- you s- eked out a win, 22-18. Should have been more than that. Potentially could have lost that game. But at the same point, I think counter what Marvin pointed out. I think as we look at this game, we're gonna go over and we're gonna see what's up, little baby. We're gonna see that. Oh, you're good. Look, you probably watching the FSU game and you're not missing much because they look like trash. But you're gonna start to look and realize that this team's got places to grow. But more importantly, man, we might have the best quarterback in SWAC. Like, really hyperbolic to say a few weeks ago, but just looking at what we've seen from the other quarterbacks in the conference, it's safe to argue Daniel Richardson is in your top 3. Like, just saying. Look, hey, it pays the bills. So, but it's safe to say Family's got one of the top 3 quarterbacks. We can say that. Family's got the best tight end room in the SWAC. Hands down. That's not an argument. You can argue with your mom about that. Family's running back room, you got an emerging running back 1. Like, you got a few of them that are there, but you have a potential 1 that by the end of the season, if he gets it together, he could be special. Offensive line, we got to run better at the beginning. Otherwise, it's gonna be a little tough. Now, defensively, we got a little work to do in a couple positions. Honestly, I like the linebackers a little bit better this week than I did last week. Like, I thought they played a lot better. Like, I'm just saying. Look, we have a top 3 quarterback in the conference. Let's see. Look, baby, after what ASU put on this weekend, I don't want to see no close game in the gum. I don't. Not at all. Point blank. They don't know who is their best personnel. The last 2 games, our best O-line have been out in the games during critical moments. And you're not wrong. But fortunately, we're pretty deep at the O-line. So, and they actually pass block pretty well. Like, as much as I can kind of get on the run blocking skills, pass blocking wise, I mean, they're all right. It's helped out a lot by the fact that Daniel Richardson's got wheels and he can run. But we started looking at it. This is a solid pass blocking team. Like, now the receivers got to catch the ball. Because in the last couple weeks, we've had some drops that were damning. Like, you start to kind of look at that film and you kind of like, how'd you drop that pass? How'd you drop that pass? A couple wide open drops game 1, some drops this week too. So, looking on the boys to be on the jugs machine a little bit this week, coach. But they're solid there. Like I said, though, I do think the spot that's going to be having us have some questions is going to be that D-line a little bit, but one of them corners. Like, we got cornerback 1. Who's in the other corner? Because they don't throw at Bowler all day. Like, Bowler, they get him on the short stuff. The cheapies, I like how it was pointed out. I believe that was EA that pointed out how far Bowler's off the ball at times. But he's up on the receiver a lot more this year. Like, there's a lot more like him being at the line, playing right on the receiver that I've noticed. But at the same point, who's that other guy? Because you see him throwing to the right a lot. Like, it's a problem. Like, whoever that other boundary corner is, it's open competition at this point. Like, just saying. And look, EA, that's my point. You have a pass blocking O-line and you're trying to be run first. Yeah. And this is my question. And I'll pose this out loud. I didn't prepare it. So it may not be as eloquent as I may like it to be. Do you as a coach have to then adjust your scheme to be more player focused and less focused on your personal mentality? It's an open question. And that's That's not a critique. That's not a criticism. That's just me taking the information I read, processing it, and then putting a question back out there. Because we know the tight ends are the strength of this team. We do know that Colsey values placing 2 tight ends in there at a time, and you really go 3 tight ends back deep. So if that's a theory in mind, and we know that our receivers do have a propensity to drop the ball, do you find a way to get that third tight end on the field, find a way to get the ball into their hands, because they are the strength of this team. They have the best hands down. They are probably your best athletes. Do you adjust your scheme to allow them to get the ball more? Just asking. Like, and look, just saying, the drops and fumbles need to stop. And I'm with you, Marvin. Scheme your player strengths. I mean, that's just me. Like, when I think about it, and I think some of that is we also kind of look at this and we don't realize we're learning Daniel Richardson's strengths at the same point. Like, just saying, EA, you have to. Willie ran to keep the defense honest, but the defense feared the pass. You gave up run lanes. And honestly, I think going into these next 2 games, what you're going to end up doing, hopefully in practice, you find a little something, you see something, but you really open up the skill set of Daniel Richardson. Like, he throws really well on the move. His deep ball can be his deep ball. But at the same point, if we start I think we trust him a little more. Like, start to really open up the offense more. Try to let him really, within these next 2 weeks of playing effort football, let him figure out what works for him and let him start to really take the reins so that by the time you get to the Alabama A&M game, September 28th at Bragg, he's really got his hands all over the offense. His fingerprints are on it, but he doesn't have his hands on the offense. Like, we've heard and seen him check out of plays and stuff like that. But how long before it gets to the point where this is his offense? And I think that was the beauty of Musa last year. That was Musa's offense. That was whatever Musa wanted to do, really was what was done. I think you have that opportunity to do that with Daniel Richardson because he's shown you he's got the football IQ. He's got the in-game situation that some of your other quarterbacks don't have. Hey, this is a better place to put the ball. I'm going to do that. Daniel Richardson has that. He's shown that. I think in 2 games, he's earned that right to be able to get more of the offense and responsibilities of offense placed upon him. Like, that's just me. Little baby, I hope we get the adjustments made before SWAC play. We know there's a chance of playing Troy real good. So we enter the conference. It should be more no more 1, 2, 3-point wins. I would agree with you. I know our coaches aren't blowout coaches, but winning by a touchdown would be nice. Honestly, I think Colsey's just about winning from what I've been able to take. But at the same point, again, I still think some of this is we're figuring out the personnel. Like, you can't undervalue that this team is really made up of transfers. Like, it is an amalgamation of other teams' players that have come together at FAMU to wear orange and green. And in some of that, it's going to take them a few weeks to figure out how they play well together. But I really think we got something special in Daniel Richardson. Like, I would, and this is me, if I really want to see how to unlock Daniel Richardson, this is going to sound really weird. I would go back and watch Texas Southern and see what they did with Andrew Body and kind of see some of the things that worked with him because they're very similar stature-wise. And they're both guys who can kind of run, move, because FAMU hadn't had a quarterback really like this under the Willie Simmons era. So this offense, while you can fit him into it, is it truly built for him? This offense is accommodating him, if that makes sense. You have a mobile quarterback who can really run all time of read options, which you have in your offense, but you may not have to the point that you can really just unlock Daniel Richardson. I think that's something that would be nice to kind of add a few wrinkles and just also see what FAU did that worked for them. So I don't know. That's just me. Like, and Marvin, if we stopped the fumbles and drops for TDs, we'd have won by more than 3. You ain't never lied about that. Like, because the center exchange, that was a problem. That was a problem last year. The Kobe Grossman, I ain't gonna lie. I believe he had the ball in the left hand on the wrong side of his body. I could be wrong. And I have to go back and watch that. But yeah, that's egregious, because in the last 2 games, fumbles are the difference between us winning comfortably and over here biting your fingernails. Like, and I clipped mine. Like, I realized they were kind of long, so I had to clip them. But if we eliminate turnovers, Marvin, you're absolutely right, because the penalties aren't a problem. Like, with all the dancing and all the stuff these kids are doing, the penalties are not something that we can gripe about this year. I mean, it was 5 at one point. I believe the team ends up having 6 or 7. I got it up on the computer, but we're not seeing this team's more disciplined than last year. Like, just saying, way more disciplined than last year. It says 2. I know we have more penalties than that. Like, I remember at least 5, but this team is so much more disciplined than it was last year. Like, look, could they say the same thing, including the refs? Man, whew. Now the refs missed some calls, but they did make up calls too. Like, that was a pass interference for sure. But the next play, we got a random flag there, So ref said, "Oops, I missed. I'm gonna make up that though." So, but overall, good game. FAMU wins. But going in the next week, I think the Miami game, it's not winnable. Like, I said that earlier. I know some folks wanted to kind of, refute and argue, and pride goes so far. But after a certain point, reality kicks in. Like, in reality, FSU sucks. Like, they need a different quarterback. Just gonna leave it there. And in reality, FAMU's a good team. But you're not beating that Miami team this year. Miami's special this year. And I don't even like the Hurricanes. I'm a Seminole fan. I'm a FAMU and FSU fan. Look, EA, you better than me. He might get a quarter. I told y'all that dude be in the stands hitting the hop, shouting blue fire all day. He would be in straight Sigma street clothes, sitting in the boxes, eating hot dogs, beanie weenies, whatever. Shoot, wouldn't see them feel for me. Let Junior get out there. Let him get some reps. And honestly, this is the benefit to this. Yeah, I mean, do you want to necessarily throw it in like that? No. But at the same point, if Junior mess around and has a good game against Miami, he did himself a favor. I'm just saying, because now he would have put on film that he can do it. That only benefits him. Like, I ain't running a 2 quarterback system. There's quarterback 1 that's gonna play. Look, Tamara T, right? They be bouncing up and down, left to right. That's too much. No, give me some little shimmy, a little shoulder action. I got that for you. That blue stuff, no sir. But nothing wrong with those who subscribe to the blue. You can back the blue all day. No, it's crimson and cream though. It's the only way to go. But look, y'all, Thursday, actually Wednesday, we are going to be doing a podcast. Look, talking about the FAMU Miami game, and just really kind of looking at it from, giving a little insight, talking about what FAMU is, what we ain't, and kind of how we can get there, man. So, y'all know, be honest, again, be on another person's show, so I'm gonna be sitting up here lying to y'all. Oh, wait, did you just see it? Oh, we got a D1 offer. What's this? Tony Kennedy. He looks like quarterback. So we'll see. Okay. Seeing them offers starting to roll out there ever so slowly. Let me just hold on and repost that FQ FAMU Twitter page. But yes, Thursday, we will see y'all here on the Fangs Up podcast. And then Wednesday, look, we'll catch y'all. We're going to be talking about that FAMU Miami game with one of the Miami pundits on their show. So getting ready, some good times, man. Look, see y'all though. And for her, the Black Techies, for HBCU Digital Network, you already know what else. It's Fangs Up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started.
Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Dorsey, have it.